So there's 20 minutes left and I am freaking out.
We have officially hit under 20 minutes.
This might have been a horrible, horrible mistake. It's release weekend for Lorcana's 7th set, Arcasia's Island.
And we gave ourselves 4 hours to complete an entire foil set.
That's 204 cards.
Here's the thing, there are real stakes on the line. If we fail, we're going to sell the entire contents of the binder and donate the proceeds to charity.
And although we love supporting good causes, we also really love our shiny cardboard. We don't want to fail this challenge. No, we really don't want to fail this challenge. So in preparation for this challenge, we spent a whole day preparing. We got this big clock off Amazon, which is going to keep track of our time. Unbeknownst to us, this was the exact same clock that Deep Pocket Monster uses. That was completely unplanned.
We also prepped our Gamegenic binder with card names and numbers. This actually resulted in multiple trips to Office Max, but that's a story for later.
And also because we're parents of a toddler, we lined up some babysitters because there's no way we could have done this with Elena in tow. Hey babysitters! Hey! So here's the plan to finish this mission. We're driving to North Austin to a series of local game stores. Our first goal is to trade for what we need. We know that many members of our Lorcana community have already opened boxes the night before, and hopefully they'll have plenty of extra foils to trade for the playables that they're looking for, or really anything from our trade binder. Then for the things we can't trade for, there's several local game stores that actually sell Lorcana singles, and usually they stock things pretty early on. So hopefully we can buy the cards that we need from those game stores where we need to fill holes in our binder.
To kick things off, we're gonna seed our binder with foils from the one box that we already had on hand.
As Erin is shredding these packs, I'm loading up the rares and above in our trade binder. Hopefully they'll do us some good.
Our very first foil is Penny from the Rescuers. I love this art, but I don't have time to look at it right now.
We definitely had our fingers crossed for this box. Getting some of the harder to find foils like the Tamatoa or another foil legendary would be super awesome here. That means we wouldn't have to trade quite as much or spend quite as much money.
Of course, Liam had to put this clock like right in front of my face. It's like taunting me. I do have to say, opening this box was really tough for me because I was so excited to see all of the new art from the set, but I had to remain focused on those foils.
So pretty early on, we hit our first foil super rare. It's really exciting to get this Maid Marian. Not only is she beautiful, but hunting down super rares and legendaries is going to be very difficult. So this is a pretty good card to get early on.
And just like that, we hit another super rare with this Amethyst Steel Jafar. This box is shaping up to be pretty awesome.
So seeing this Donald Duck in person is really cool. Even though he's not foil, this is one of the cards that we were super excited for from this set. Donald Duck looks like he's straight out of Kingdom Hearts. I can't wait to see what he looks like in foil.
Not only is this card super cool, it was done by Brazilian artist Ariueli, who's a really good friend, and we know he was so excited to get to do this art.
Even though it's cool to pull, for now it's off to the trade binder, and hopefully we can trade for it in foil later on. With the second to last pack, we hit a Tamatoa, which is huge. It's not foil, but this card is highly sought after right now. It's worth about $60, so it's a huge piece to have in our trade binder. Hopefully we can use it to trade up into a foil.
Okay, last pack magic, here we go.
As Erin opened that last pack, less than 10 minutes had gone by. We've got 24 foils. I think we're doing pretty good.
Unfortunately, we didn't get a lot of big hits out of this box, but it did feel good to get that first 24 cards under our belt because we didn't pull any duplicates.
But even though we didn't get a lot of good foils, this box was doing something else for us. We want to spend as little money as possible as we hunt down these foils, so trading is going to be one of our goals here. So getting some trade chaff from the newest set that people are going to be looking for was really great, and pulling this Tamatoa was extra awesome. This card is really valuable right now, so hopefully we'll be able to trade it for something that we really need.
I opened this entire box in 7 minutes, which was undoubtedly the fastest I've ever opened a box of Lorcana cards in my life. I'm feeling pretty proud of myself right now.
Back in about that long plus 20 minutes.
So Mothership games first.
Mothership?
Mothership.
Okay. Let's see, 27 minutes though.
Oh no. Oh no.
Okay, so small problem. Some of you might have heard of a festival called South by Southwest. Well, it comes to Austin every year, and of course, release weekend for Arcasia's Island just happens to fall on the first major day of the festival, which means gridlock. All around town, gridlock.
We've just realized that the difficulty of this challenge has gone up just a bit. Of course, now comes the hard part.
Traffic.
Yeah. Does make it easier. We're gonna be all over the place.
Oh, lovely. So excited in my car.
184. So there's really no way to complete this challenge without activating the local Lorcana community and letting them know what we're up to. So I'm gonna post a message in the Austin Discord server. All right, we're running way behind, so I need to call in the cavalry. I'm going to the Austin Discord server posting, we're working on a project. We need all of your Arcasia's Island foils, if you have any for trade. Let's see who responds, because time is ticking. Gotta have fun. So we're at Mothership Games. They had a release event today for Arcasia's Island, so hopefully people are still here. And yeah, we'll see what we can do.
First stop is Mothership Games, where they're doing a starter deck event, and we know some of our friends are already there.
3 hours, 18 minutes.
So we're letting the staff know that we're here for release weekend, and we immediately head to the back. And luckily, people must have seen our Discord message because they were already ready with their foils.
Foils?
Hey,
Anybody? Foils? Oh my gosh, Yana, you're amazing.
Immediately, Yana turns from her game and hands us a stack of foils that we get to start looking through. Very exciting.
Luckily, this is a nice big stack of foils. I am frantically looking through the binder to see what I'm missing. Hopefully, this isn't gonna cost me too much.
Even though we're stressed, we're trying to have fun, but we're stressed. As Aaron's sorting through cards, I'm looking around, and I have to say, it's really cool seeing the Lorcana community enjoying Arcasia's Island on release weekend. So we're still at the point where we need most everything. So pretty much everything that Yana's handed us, we need. So I'm taking a look at this pile. It is super exciting. I can see 2 foil legendaries sitting on the top. I thought it was gonna take us forever to hunt the legendaries down, but here's 2. And Scrooge McDuck is one of the more sought after legendaries in this set. So this is gonna be a huge pickup. For those not familiar with Lorcana, legendaries are the rarest cards in the game besides the elusive enchanted cards. You're normally gonna get about 3 to 5 regular enchanteds per box, and you're lucky to get 1 foil enchanted per box.
So yeah, getting 2 here feels pretty good. So up until this point, we've really been able to keep moving forward, but I'm kind of stalling out here. I need to make this trade, but I don't want to interrupt Yana in her game.
So as we're getting ready to look through the cards, we're in for another surprise as Jafar gets up from the back of the shop and starts interrogating us about the Hexwell crown.
I'm just trying to see what I need.
You have something that you want to give to me.
I do?
The crown. I know that you took it from Basil.
Luckily, I only had to wait a few minutes before Dusty, aka Jafar, came up and saved the day with another stack of foils.
And right on top of that pile, I see an Ink Geyser. This is a card that some people are actually kind of excited about, and I had a feeling this might be a difficult one to track down. So it's another card that I'm happy to see. So Dusty has a nice stack of foils, including several that we're very excited to see, including this Belle. Now, she's only a common, but during reveal season, every Sapphire player knew they needed to have 4 of them, and any card that's playable is going to be expensive in foil form. So if we can get our hands on this, it'll be super awesome. Let the sorting begin.
So now I have 2 pending trades going on, and I'm waiting for both of them to finish their games. And while I'm waiting, as people are between rounds, they're starting to catch on to what we're doing, and they're coming up with 1s and 2s that they've pulled from their booster packs, ready to trade me.
As I look down at the table, I see that this player has brought over another legendary. It's Minnie Mouse Storyteller. I really hope we can find a deal for it, because crossing this one off the list would be huge.
I'm so happy he found something he wanted in our trade binder. First trade of the day in the books. We're at 25 cards now. Because this project is going to be such a community effort, we wanted everyone who contributed to sign our foil binder.
Our first 4 legendary in the binder. And as Aaron's going to make the first trade, we quickly realized what's going to be the most time-consuming part of this project. Obviously, when you're doing a trade, you want each person to get equal value, and that requires looking up each card. And on release weekend, some of these prices are all over the place, and we don't know exactly what these new cards are worth off the top of our heads. So we're having to look up each card individually, and each trade is just time-consuming. While that first trade is going on, more players are finishing up their games and coming up to us with 1, 2, 3 cards, looking through our trade binder, and we're starting to make small deals here and there.
And even though we were making small trades, the ones I really needed to land were Dusty and Yana. They had giant piles just waiting for us, including Belle and those legendaries that we really needed.
Really quickly, it seemed like the whole room wanted to help us out with this project, which felt pretty good. So we're probably gonna mention this a couple times, but it turns out that trading for foils on release weekend is a terrible idea because they ain't cheap. Ouch.
Right after that, we set up another trade with another young player. One of the things I love about this game is the young player community, and they showed up for us during this challenge.
So with those little trades out of the way, we finally tackled the task of adding up these giant piles of foils from Yana and Dusty, and the clock is staring me in the face, ticking down. It's time-consuming work.
While Liam was wrapping up a trade, I had a chance to catch up with one of our dearest Lorcana friends, Josh. He's a teacher at a local high school here, and he teaches kids how to play Lorcana in his spare time as a part of a gaming club.
Okay, so adding up these cards is taking me forever. Luckily, Dusty comes over, taps me on the shoulder and says, Liam, you're doing it wrong. Go to Dreamborn, there's a trade function. You can do this a lot easier. And he was absolutely right. It definitely sped up the process. All right, so this trade is really starting to add up on both sides, but luckily that Tamatoa that we pulled in the box earlier is going to come in handy here because Dusty wants it, and yeah, he is expensive.
With the Tamatoa, we were able to find a deal that we were all happy with. I honestly don't know how many cards are in this pile. I guess I'll figure it out once I put them in the binder. So we have one more big trade left to go with Yana, and I've picked out everything of hers that I want. And earlier today, she mentioned to basically pull all of the playable steel cards out of our trade binder and set them aside for her. So I think we're almost settled up here. And then she mentioned that she had a box of bulk in her trunk that might have some foils in it and asked me if I wanted to take a look. Yes, please.
Luckily, she's got them all sorted by card and color, but we still have to go through all of these stacks. We've got 2 hours and 24 minutes, and we are digging through this box frantically. And with the Yana trade complete, I think we've exhausted all of the foils that we need for Mothership, so we wave goodbye to the community. We're out the door on our way to the next game store.
Bye, Lorcana friends. Thank you all so much. Really appreciate it. Bye.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're leaving. We got 2 hours, 11 minutes left. We're almost halfway there. A little nervous.
Yeah. Situation is we've done a lot of damage to commons and uncommons. That was super helpful. I'm going to count what we have left to go, but getting the commons and the uncommons out of the way is a huge headache. Also, our trade binder has been
Pilfered.
absolutely gutted. Absolutely gutted. Trading for foils on release weekend is awful.
Kind of crazy.
Awful.
Yeah. 10 minutes to Game Kastle.
10 minutes, all right. Halfway through-ish. I'm getting
Oh
stressed.
my gosh.
So this challenge is all about using time efficiently. So while Aaron is driving to Game Kastle, I'm using this time to put cards in the binder and see what we have left. So I'm flipping through the binder, looking at our progress, and there's a lot of cards in here, but there are also still a lot of holes. So we have 82 cards missing still. We have 122 cards, but the biggest thing is we have 7 legendaries to go.
Wait, 8 legendaries, I thought you said.
8 legendaries to go.
Oh.
So that's gonna be the biggest challenge, including that Tamatoa and the Aurora, which are kind of be the big ones.
The
so
chase cards, yeah.
yeah,
We've heard that there is a Tamatoa at the next LGS.
we've
we're
heard
going to.
rumors of a crab.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Yeah. So I mean maybe we're on track. I don't know.
I mean, cards per minute, I think we're good because we're past the halfway point and we are at the halfway point.
Now we're at the point where we're going to be hunting down the onesies and twosies, and
Yeah.
it's going to be a challenge.
Yeah,
so.
I'm super nervous about those legendaries.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, I was wondering if you had singles for Arcasia's Island available yet. Yeah. Yep. Foil Tamatoa is the big one.
So we said at the beginning of the video that buying singles from LGSs was a part of our strategy, but we ran into a little bit of a wrinkle at Mothership.
Unfortunately, Mothership had opened their boxes but weren't selling singles yet, or didn't have them listed on their website on this weekend. So
Yeah.
we knew that they had them available and they'd opened boxes, and we were really counting on being able to buy a bunch of them there.
Yeah.
And not being able to do that is kind of a huge bummer.
I will say though that the manager of this next LGS told me that they cracked 12 boxes on Thursday. So hopefully we'll have a decent amount of product.
Yeah, hopefully we have some luck.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see.
Liam taking his time.
They got a lot of trinkets.
So with 120 minutes left on the clock and 82 cards to go, I am praying that the Lorcana community is going to show up for us here at Game Kastle, or else there's no way we're finishing this challenge in time.
Hey, Tom!
So as we walk in, we see Tom, the manager of Game Kastle.
The Illumiteers have arrived for your foils.
He's been so supportive of the channel and our projects, we immediately walk over to the counter and let him know how we're doing so far and see if he can help us out at all.
Tom immediately hands over the shop's single binder. Aaron gets to work comparing the cards in the shop's binder with the cards in our binder and begins pulling out the cards that we need. In addition to the shop's singles binder, there's also a bulk box which might have some lower cost foils in it. So once we finish with the binder, we have to look through the box. There's a lot to do.
And these are not the only cards in the shop. Behind me, there's a release event going on right now, and there are a ton of players back there that hopefully we can trade with for other foils. So this project gets a little bit more complicated when I realize that Tom has the current set and the old sets all in the same binder. And because I'm moving so fast, I'm not even looking at the full card. I'm just looking at that number in the bottom left corner. So I ended up pulling a couple of set 6 cards out, which I caught pretty quickly, but did slow me down a little bit.
Luckily, this binder is productive. We're finding card after card that we need. Hopefully we can keep this momentum up because the clock is ticking down. And as we're sorting through cards, a round in the release event ends and our friend Adrian comes over and says something a little interesting. He said he's got cards for us, but there's a condition?
I have stuff for you, but
You have stuff?
it has, well, you'll see. There's a price.
Oh no. So after receiving that warning from Adrian, I walked to the back to see who else is here and what everyone's up to. There's still one game from the previous round going on. And while I'm saying hello to everyone, I get handed a card which I didn't need for this set, but that I'd secured in a previous deal. You know, you're always grinding. So just like in Mothership, once the players here at Kastle hear what we're up to, a bunch of them start looking through their cards and pulling out the 1, 2, or 3 foils that they have, hoping that we need them. She pulls out a foil legendary Bagheera, one of the cards that we still need, and I'm pretty excited. An Aurora? You have an Aurora? Literally put it in. Yeah.
Can I give you a hug? Thank you.
And while Liam's doing that, another player walks over to me with a bunch of cards to see if I need them. He starts looking through our trade binder to see if we can work out a trade. Keeping track of whose cards belong to who and what cards that we still need and what cards are in active trades, it's becoming a lot. Organization is so key when it comes to this project, and it's starting to fray at the edges a little bit.
For foils of this set.
You're trying to collect all the foils in 4 hours. They're a little bit crazy.
And while this deal is going on, Julia goes out to her car and gets her foil binder, so we have another trade going on. Things are really stacking up.
Thank you.
All right, so our friend Julia has 3 enchanters that we need. I'm gonna go see if I can make a deal. So we get a deal done for this player's cards, shake hands. It's another card in the binder. We're moving along. All right, so like it is chaos over here right now. We have a bunch of people's cards.
Where is Gizmodo? Does he have the crown?
Oh no! Jafar's back!
Jafar has returned.
Jafar's returned! I'm saying,
So Jafar showed up with more goodies.
yeah, you can.
He showed up to trade us super rares, and in fact, I needed 2 of his commons.
Yes.
So that'll happen to you.
Yeah.
So luckily, Sophia not only had that foil legendary Bagheera, but she also had a foil legendary Baloo and a few other really key cards. She didn't really need anything out of our trade binders, so this was a cash deal. But it does feel really good to get those 2 legendaries under our belt. So as this list of names begins to grow on this binder, I'm really starting to feel overwhelmed with this sense of gratitude towards the Lorcana community. If we're able to pull this project off, it really was a community effort. I can't believe so many Lorcana players came to contribute to this project. It really hits me right in the feels.
So I'm looking at the binder, I'm looking at the cards and trade piles, and I'm realizing that there's some singles that we haven't seen yet, and I'm starting to get nervous that we're not gonna be able to hunt them down. So I'm heading to the Discord community once again to make one more plea for certain cards. So while Aaron takes a moment to deal with the binder, I head back over to take a look at the players area. There's a round going on, and yeah, plenty of people still playing. I was filming video, and Aaron told me what would be super helpful is if I helped and put cards in order because it's super stressful to go through randomly. Super stressful. So I'm gonna put these in order. Also, remember earlier when I was supposed to sort that stack of cards? I kind of got distracted, but luckily Grace, in her amazing Jasmine cosplay, grabbed that stack and started sorting it for me.
Amazing! You are so good at this game.
As time continues to tick on, my trades are becoming a little bit more loosey-goosey. I mean, people are just coming up to me, telling me the value of the card, and I'm just going with it at this point.
So do you remember earlier when our friend Adrian told us that he had some cards for us, but there were conditions? Well, we're about to learn what that means. Adrian actually has some of his cards for us, but then he also has a pile of cards from our friend Aaron. And Aaron didn't just want to trade us cards, he wanted to make us earn them.
Well, if this isn't the Illumiteers come scrounging around for some foils. Well, I'm afraid it's not going to be that easy for you. For every one of my foils that you want, you're going to have to best Adrian in a game of his choosing. And may Adrian have mercy upon your souls.
That's a lot of work.
Oh no.
My game is, are you 33? Oh, I am. I win.
No. So after thinking about it, Adrian settled on a game of rock, paper, scissors. But with a Disney twist.
Yeah, this is, of course, Donald.
Okay.
Everyone knows the rules of this game.
Right.
Yeah, this is Donald.
This is Mickey.
Mickey, Donald, and then Goofy, because of course he has the hat.
The hat. Okay, wait, so
Goofy, Donald, Mickey. We'll do it. We'll do best 2 out of 3, and we'll do it on shoot. Mickey, Goofy, Donald, shoot. All right. Ready?
Yes.
I don't know how we're gonna do this, but I'm gonna do it like this.
Okay.
Mickey, Goofy, Donald, shoot. Okay, we tied. Mickey, Goofy, Donald, shoot. Mickey, Goofy, Donald, shoot. Okay, so Donald is smarter than Goofy, so you win this one. Okay, all right, we got at least one more. All right, Mickey, Goofy, Donald, shoot. Mickey, Goofy, Donald, shoot. Okay, well I beat you because Goofy, well he's taller than Mickey, of course. All right, ready? Mickey, Goofy, Donald, shoot. No, wait, Mickey beats Donald because it's the Bugs Bunny Daffy Duck dynamic. It's the same dynamic.
That's another 7 foils for the binder.
So with that out of the way, I took a moment to take a look at where we were at. We're down to crunch time, and here's the situation. We need 12 foils, including 2 big ones, legendary Donald Duck and the Queen. So with time winding down, I hit social media hard and started calling all the local game stores within driving distance. No one has what we need. We're also hit with another bit of bad luck. The one other game store that normally stocks a ton of singles isn't selling them yet for Arcasia's Island. So our plan was flawed from the start. And sadly, at this point, the game store that everyone is heading to for the final release event of the weekend is nearly an hour drive away. So our last ditch effort is posting on social media and hoping that something comes through. But unbeknownst to us, while we were working cards and phones, Tom, the LGS manager, grabbed a case of Arcasia's Island from behind the counter and started ripping open packs with a couple of our locals.
So the moment I'm done sleeving all of these cards, I run to the back of the store to see how I can help.
It's, so yeah, we're home stretch now. We need like 12 cards, about that. And it's those 2 legendaries, which is the problem. The store is actually like busting packs behind me, trying to get this knocked out. I can't believe they're doing that, as well as some of our friends, and it's crazy. It's just crazy.
When I get back there are stacks of cards everywhere, and Tom, Sonia, and the other locals had already found 3 of the cards that we need. I immediately sat down and started ripping packs myself to try to make our way through the case. And it only took a few more minutes before we had gone through all of the packs available.
But the situation here is dire.
At this point, I was a little bit discouraged. I honestly thought that this was the end of the road. But Tom turned to me and smiled and told me he had one more trick up his sleeve, another case in the back of the store.
And when we asked him if he was sure that he wanted to open up his sealed case, he said, after everything we'd gone through that day and after all the effort we put in, he couldn't bear to see us fail and had to try to help us win. Of course, even this case is kind of a Hail Mary. With the number of foil super rares and foil legendaries that we needed, finding them was going to be really tricky in 4 boxes of cards, but we were going to go for it anyway.
And it would seem that luck's on our side.
Because as soon as Sonia opened the first box in that case, bam! And what? The first pack, wait, hold on. All right. Yeah, first pack of the box, Queen foil. First pack. Okay.
That takes us to 8.
We hit under 20 minutes, and we still have 7 more to go. 1 legendary, and oh gosh, no, we have 8 more to go. Oh god. Okay, 1 legendary, 4 super rares, 8 more, and a rare. 3 rare.
As we're working our way through the second case, I know that this is such a long shot. I turn to Liam and I tell him that he needs to go over to the counter immediately and buy whatever they have left.
Absolute best box of our lives.
So as a good partner, I do what I'm told. Head to the counter and grab the last box that they have, as well as the only trove in stock. And when I get back to the table, we open the trove first, and bang! It's another card that we need. It's going trove time.
Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh!
Nice.
King candy!
So now we're down to 7, and with about 2 boxes to go, maybe we'll pull this off? So with 17 minutes to go, we realized that we had no more outs. We'd opened everything in the store, and every LGS within driving distance didn't have what we need. So yeah, here we are. The time is, we ripped a lot of boxes.
We did rip a lot of boxes.
I didn't-
The Lorcana community ripped a lot of boxes to get us to this point. So
Yeah, look, we're back here sorting cards, and we didn't think this would happen, but the store is awesome, and the community is
know.
awesome. And
our LGS opened 8 boxes for us while we sat here trying to find our last few cards. Like, our community is unbelievable. They're so incredible. We're so, so grateful.
And so we had nothing left to do but watch the time tick down.
4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We got close.
But the clock did give us a nice consolation tune.
It is so the opposite of the reaction we expected.
I mean, it would have been pretty sweet if that was the music playing if we had made it.
So with that, as promised, we're gonna sell our beautiful foil binder. Make sure you subscribe for details on the binder sale and for details on how you can help us select the charity that we support. Thanks so much for watching.